Alright guys, so I'm going to start the video by saying I'm back from what I did today. So you'll see I'm going to go visit another YouTuber, but kind of wanted to talk about this because I didn't talk about it anywhere else in the video. This is after the fact, but I did put probably about 110 miles on today. So when I went to go visit Hunter, he's about 44 miles from where I'm at right now. So went there and back, and I drove for probably a half hour, 45 minutes around a little bit before I left to go to his shop. So car did very well, no temperature issues, got the fuel and everything dialed in now where it's decent, manageable. Went to his shop basically to test my wideband versus a known good wideband and just kind of see what I was reading. So I did make some adjustments to the fuel. I'm new to the E38 computer. There is I think this is what happened. There's an injector tip temperature setting in there, and I think that was tricking me because it was giving me like a false rich temporary reading. And remember, if you guys remember when I was driving it with my wife, we found the issue of the exhaust leak, which would make it go lean, and it was decent air-fuel ratio, and then all of a sudden, over the course of like probably 30-45 seconds, it just started going lean, and then went off the gauge. Nothing changed in the tune, so everything seemed really weird at that point. So that's why I was doing more investigation and wanted to verify the wideband. This is a really old wideband because it's been in the car for a long time. So I think what was happening is that was kind of tricking me a little bit, and it was giving me like a false rich reading because I was reflashing it. So there's a rich after reflash video that HP Academy did, and they kind of talk about what the symptoms are. So I think that's actually what got me a little bit on this one, because it was showing rich, and then I drive it for probably like 5 minutes and then get some data, and then I'd flash another file, and then it would be rich, and then that was basically getting it dialed in after a fresh reflash every time. And then when I was driving it with my wife that day, I came home, made another change to it. She took it out and was driving it, and then I didn't make a change for a while, probably 20 minutes, and then it started to go lean. So what I did today was disabled the injector tip temp, zeroed out the table, and then dialed in the VE to where it was manageable, and then I re-enabled the injector tip temp. So that's what I did. Disabled that, zeroed it out, dialed in the VE, got it close, and then re-enabled the table. So that's where we're at now. Car did very well. Car makes 10 pounds now. So 10 pounds of boost instead of the 6 it was making before. So it's a little bit more fun. And stick around to the end. I did get a nice long driving video on a windy road. So maybe you guys will enjoy that. I'm gonna shut up now. All right guys, so we're at a little bit of a different place here today. We're out at the HunterTuned shop. Check out his YouTube channel, HunterTuned. So we got the Nissan out. What we're doing, it came over here because he has this external wideband setup that plugs into cigarette lighter for when he tunes cars. So he's bolting it in right now, and we just kind of want to verify the sensor compared to what I have and see what's going on here. So we're going to put it in the passenger side. That's Hunter. Most of you guys probably know him already. So he's putting that in right now, and then we're going to compare the two banks, and then I'm going to make him give me a tour of the shop and talk about all of his cars. But he doesn't know that yet.
Oh no, you're running too lean, dude. Just set it in there. Is it reading?
No. Probably gotta put it in the bung. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what we got.
Look at how much more stable this one is though compared. This is just because it's a 4.2. know it glitches like that? Yeah, that's the 4.2, man. Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, give it a little RPM. Like hold it at 2 grand once. They're pretty close.
Yeah. All right, so here's the tour. Hunter knows now, so he's gonna give us a tour of the shop.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna start outside the shop.
Okay.
So, this is my free RV. We actually just got this car donated to the channel. A guy, super generous guy, actually was going to junk this car, and he hit me up and said, hey, do you want the car instead? And I said, of course, like why not? So we ended up getting this car for free. Had some issues, we ended up fixing them, and we're just gonna build some crazy little build out of it. I don't know if we're gonna turbo it or what we're gonna do yet, but we're gonna have some fun with this thing.
And the AC works.
Yeah, AC works. It's honestly just gonna be like a daily for now. So yeah, it should be pretty fun. But behind the shop, we also have Michael's car. This thing's all tore apart. This was a 500 horsepower D-Series Honda, which is like the single cam underdog engine. So this car, obviously it's just sitting here because it blew up. It dropped a valve. So he's gonna be doing something different with this thing. And yeah, and then we have the car trailer, but that's about
He's
it.
in the process of painting it.
Yeah, he's actually gonna paint the car. Hopefully he gets some motivation soon to come work on it.
You hear that, Michael?
Right.
Michael with the soon not to be red Civic.
So then we come in the shop and we have a, we got this shop as like a super last minute thing because I ended up buying this chassis dyno right here from a guy in Arizona for 750 bucks. So this is a Clayton chassis dyno, which is pretty much an emissions testing dyno, but we're trying to convert it over to run, to make horsepower with it. And so far, it works extremely well for how much money I have invested into it. And we have successfully dynoed cars up to about that 500 horsepower mark. Anything over the 500 horsepower mark on this thing, it tends to have some issues loading because it doesn't have a load system on it currently, other than the flywheel. So we might have some stuff that we're gonna do with this as well. Updating it to an electronic loading brake and hopefully be good for like 1,000 horsepower eventually. But we're trying to do everything kind of cheap, and I didn't know how invested I wanted to get into this. So we started off cheap and learned a lot.
But now you're into it.
And then we'll start over here. This is my, I think it's a 95 Honda Civic. They're all the same from 92 to 95 usually. But this is an EG Coupe. I actually owned this car a couple years ago, made 830 horsepower to the tires with a B-Series engine, and yeah, I ended up parting the car out and it's back. I ended up getting the car back as a shell, traded another Honda shell for this shell, and we're gonna be slowly getting this one up and going. I've just been waiting on the machine shop for like what seems like the whole summer. So whenever that stuff comes about, we'll definitely be getting this thing up and going. It's got the wide drag front end on it. It's a super clean car.
Skinnies.
Yep, all-out drag car. It's got a drag wing on the back as well. I don't know if you guys can see that way back there, but
Yeah.
drag wing, drag front bumper. Has backdoor intercooler, which just in and out, super simple intercooler setup. So we got the motor over there for it. It's just a epoxy-filled B18 block. We're gonna try to make like 700 horsepower. Go nines.
That's what he's talking about here. Filled it with epoxy. What kind of epoxy is that?
It's a mixture of Absolute Blue vodka and
What was the other
JB Weld. Yeah.
JB Wells.
I have no idea. It's actually from Chris Boyette on Facebook. I think he goes 8s in a J-Series Honda.
Okay.
And he has this same block filler in it, but he's very secretive of it. So
So he filled it, but then machined it flat.
yeah, I filled it above the deck and then machined it flat. There's actually a couple guys that say it's not going to work and it's going to push head gaskets. So I don't know. We'll see. But
One way to find out.
and then we move on to the Chev Stang. This car has been part of my channel for quite a while now, since the beginning of my channel almost. Turbo 4.8. We've been having some issues with the transmission lately, and the turbo definitely is a little bit too big for the cam and displacement of this thing. So we're going to be doing some changes to it, but this car has been 961 at 146 on not really a lot of boost and not a good 60 foot. So we're definitely going to get this thing dialed into.
Can you brace the window now?
Yeah, the window actually collapsed on me one of the last track days. Yeah, I made a custom dash for it, and this is my first roll cage I ever did, so
Yeah.
it's not the prettiest, but it works.
It passed tech.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we have my Honda CRX here. This car is actually for sale. I'm trying to sell it because I have too many projects going on. We're not done with all the cars either, so. This thing is a B-Series swapped CRX SI. The lighting's probably not the greatest over here, but it is a B20 VTEC swap. I built the bottom end and the cylinder head for it. It is a 11.5:1 compression ratio engine with Eagle rods and like the cheap YCP pistons, and it made 207 wheel horsepower all motor. So definitely a fun little setup. Pump gas, little ripper.
I actually want to buy this, but I never contacted you because I just shouldn't. I don't have room for it.
Right, I know, I don't really either. And then we got a customer's car over here. This is an EG Civic as well. It has a turbo B16 in it, fully built block, stock cylinder head, 62, 66 turbo. And yeah, that thing should make some good power, but the wiring in the car is a nightmare. So we are slowly working on that as well. We always got projects going on.
And now I think we're gonna go for a drive, aren't we?
Yeah, in the other car that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Pro Mod.
The new Del Sol.
The Pro Mod.
So this is what they're calling the Pro Mod Del Sol. They just did the exhaust up like this. I'll show you on this side. So I think the story is he ended up going to trade a vehicle, but then ended up just buying this thing. I think that's the one. I don't know. You go through a lot of cars. This was the one you were going to trade and then you ended up buying,
yeah,
right?
I was going to trade my CRX for this car, and it ended up being way worse condition than I anticipated. So I honestly just offered him way too little of money for the car, and he took it. So I was like, I guess I'd need another car, sure. So we fixed it up. We put a competition clutch in it because it had like a junk clutch, and we just like made the turbo kit that it was on at work.
Oh, that's actually the wastegate on that side.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious. Oh boy.
Yep.
At least
it has
it's
a set of my decap truck injectors in it, Walbro 450 pump, and too much boost. Yep.
So Hunter actually sells on his website the decap truck injectors. You do the adapters too?
I don't sell the adapters, but I might eventually.
So they come with pigtails too,
Yep.
or just the injectors?
Yep.
So with pigtails
and injectors, and then you source the top hats yourself, or some guys will make them fit without the top hats. Like Christian's car runs without the top hats, but
decapped, clean to end, full tested.
Yep. PVC pipe?
Yeah. is funny about this and the free vehicle that he got. So he's getting these cars, and then it's obvious somebody just gave up on it.
Yeah, somebody
And
gave up on a project, and
he puts about a day and a half of work into it, and then has it doing that, and barely paid anything for it. He said it pretty much came exactly like this, was missing injectors, and then you tuned it.
yeah, it was kind of not really put together though. The transmission mount on the back wasn't connected, and the clutch, it had a rear main seal leak.
Okay.
So we had to pull the trans off, and while we were in there, we put a better clutch in it and stuff like that. But I mean, I probably have like $800 into this car.
Yeah. But you got it running basically in a couple days.
Yep.
And now it's fun on 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Just
like
hilarious.
350 horsepower probably.
Someone gave up on it, and they were a day away from driving it.
Yep.
Good stuff. Well, I was backing out when I left, and I almost hit the Del Sol.